Daisy, and you are welcome to my channel. On this channel, I create content with regards to my faith in Christ, marriage, and motherhood. So you are welcome, and if it's your first time here, welcome, and thank you for clicking on this video. So today I'll be talking about my cesarean section journey, and just it's a story time, just telling you how my cesarean section went here in the United States. So last year, my husband and I were expecting a child, and we're during the process of the pregnancy. We were grateful to God that it was a smooth journey, and everything was just in place, and we were just waiting for this baby girl to come. Yes, so I think the last week of my pregnancy, that was I think 39 weeks, we went to our appointment, and I was told that my blood pressure was high, and so that was like I think my last appointment before I started waiting now for my due date. I was already 10 full 10 pregnant. So we were told to say my blood pressure was high, and because of that they needed to admit me, because they were fearing that I might have eclampsia. So they decided that they were going to admit me to the hospital, and we didn't expect that. My husband and I didn't expect that. Like, we were just caught off guard. So we were okay with that, and we said we came back home. My husband actually went for work that day, and he was just like, he was just on call in case of anything. He was going to come back home. So they did a few tests, and they said when the results come out, they would inform us whether we would go in that day or go in the next day. And that's how we were informed that we could go in that evening, and I was admitted to the hospital that evening. And to start with, they tried to induce the labor, and after laboring for some hours, I could not progress well, and so that's how come they opted that I should go for a cesarean section. That was really a load on us, my husband and I, because we didn't want it. Yeah, but the Lord has His plans, and so we trusted that if this is how the baby wanted to make an entrance in the world, she would do that. And I was prepared for an emergency surgery, and so they prepared me, did some IV fluids and all, and just um, changing me, putting me in a theater gown, um, and preparing me for the whole procedure. The doctor came to talk to me, the nurses talked to me, and they just prepared us. And my wish and my husband's wish was that we would be together during this time. You know, comparison to how it is back home, from Zambia, most of the times the men are not present during the time the woman is laboring in the labor ward. I know maybe some hospitals, especially maybe the private owned hospitals, might allow that, but most of the cases it is not like that. Most of the time the women will just labor on their own, have the child, and then the man will come and see the child later on. So in our case, I was so grateful to God that my husband was there with me the whole time. you know Contractions, that's a whole lot that's another story. Contractions were so bad, and I'm just so grateful that my husband was there, because he would rub my back, he would just hold my hand, um, I would sit on his lap, like, it was just him being there made it a whole lot easier, even when the contractions were so bad. And after that, uh, they said he was allowed to come to the theater room, and that made me so comfortable. It made me so happy, and just knowing that he's going to be there with me. And so they prepared me for the cesarean section, and I was wheeled to the theater room. They gave my husband his outfit for the theater room, and just gave him the instructions on how he should, where he should stand, and just how he should move around in the theater, because how they try and prevent the cross contamination during such operations. So when I was taken to the theater room, um, they started preparing, and everything was just going so fast. I didn't even know like what was happening. It's like everything was just happening within minutes. The doctors came, the other assisting staff came, and there was just a lot of people in the theater room. I was just there, blinking and waiting. Oh, is my husband coming? Because that's the only familiar face that I knew. So they after preparing me and just getting everything ready, they brought my husband in, and he sat with me, and we were talking. I just love the fact that he was just encouraging me, talking to me, asking me how I'm doing, asking if I'm okay. Like he was just there. He was really my pillar, and I was so glad that he was in the theater room with me. And after everything was done, like I just heard them saying the time. I'm a nurse, so I know how these like surgeries go. So when I just heard them say the time, like the start time of the surgery, I knew that everything was happening now. I was numb, like from my waist down, and I was just feeling some sort of um, just like pressure. I wouldn't say pain, just like pressure, like someone is pulling you and all. After they made the incision, and when they were now pulling, just pulling the muscles to get to the uterus and to pull out the baby. So my husband was there. Of course, they had put a curtain, so we couldn't really see what they were doing on the other side. And after a few minutes, um, we just saw the curtain, like one of the people that were helping, I don't know if it's a nurse or something, put down the curtain, and we saw our baby. Like they just lifted her, like they just brought her out of the uterus and lifted her, and like she was facing us. Oh, I was so full of joy. I remember I just started crying, and my husband was just looking at her, and the next moment we were just waiting because she didn't cry. So we're just waiting, like she was just quiet and just moving around, and my husband was just looking. I was also looking. I'm like, you gonna cry? Yes. So after a few minutes, then we heard her cry, like just this baby scream, and we were so happy. We were really, really overjoyed. I was crying. My husband was just holding me, like we're just so excited to see our daughter finally. Um, so when they showed us the baby, then they carried her to the working station where they were going to clean her up and just prepare her and do all those things. So I remained on the table. They started cleaning me up and just stitching me up, and my husband now was torn. Does he remain with me? Does he go to see the baby? Yeah, but after making sure that I was okay, he now moved and went to see them take care of the baby and just change her, um, clean her up, give her the medications that she was supposed to get. And so my husband was allowed to dress our daughter. So her first diaper, daddy did it. Yes, yeah, her first diaper. They got pictures with him, and what we had wished was that he would cut the umbilical cord so that he would just, feel a part of the whole delivery process. And because I could not have the normal delivery, they said he would still cut the umbilical cord, trim it, they said. So they had cut it longer when they removed her from the womb, and he was allowed to cut it and just trim it when she was on the table and they were working on her. And that was so good. I really loved that because that was my desire. I just wanted him to be the one to cut the umbilical cord, and they allowed him to do that. So they prepared her and they brought her to me. I saw my baby girl and I was so happy. My husband was there seated with me. They were so kind. They got pictures of us with the baby, and they had even allowed us to film, um, record the whole process in there. So my husband was in charge of that, and he was just recording, and so that I could see all the videos later on. And when we were done, we got the pictures and all. They had to take the baby to another room, the recovery room, and because they were still working on me. So my husband went with our daughter to the recovery room. In a few minutes, I was done with the whole stitching up and just making sure that I was okay. So when I was done and given the go ahead, I was wheeled to the recovery room where my husband and the baby were waiting for me. I stayed there for about an hour. During that time, they were checking my vitals, checking if the numbness was going away in my legs, so telling me to lift my leg, to just rubbing on my legs to let me know whether I was feeling the pain or I was recovering in that state. So that is what they did. After recovering for an hour, and they also tried to, they made my baby try to latch to just see if she was going to latch, but she didn't in that moment. That was still okay. Otherwise, she was healthy, everything was okay, I was recovering well, and that's how they, after an hour or so, I was now wheeled to the postnatal unit. When I got there, I was welcomed by the nurse, and my husband was the one who was wheeling the baby's trolley. Yeah, so he was there looking at our daughter and just enjoying and taking in the moments. And when we got to the postnatal ward, they gave our baby a blanket, and they told me to choose the, like, those head socks that children have. Yes, they told me to choose one and to choose a blanket as well for her. They wheeled us to the postnatal unit, and needless I say, the whole time my mother-in-law was with us. The whole time during my labor and all, she was with us, and that was beautiful. Like, I enjoyed her being there, just knowing that there's someone there who's with us, and just she was so helpful, and just sitting with us, enjoying our time with her. And so she didn't go with us to the theater room. They only allowed my husband. So when everything was done, she was told that the baby had come, and she was taken to the postnatal unit. So we found her in the postnatal unit, and she was so happy just seeing her grandchild, and seeing me, and we were just all so happy. So when we got there, they did their initial checks. They handing me over now to the postnatal unit. The nurses were there, the midwives, and when we were settled in at all, my husband prayed for us, prayed for the child, and just prayed for, thanking God for what He had done and for the safe delivery of our daughter. And after our prayer, it was a bit late because our whole cesarean section time was around midnight. So I'm from Zambia, and the time difference, the United States and Zambia, is like, I think, about 7 or 8 hours. So when it's midnight here, that's when people are waking up back home. So that's how we started calling the people, and all the close friends and family that we needed to tell about the child. We started video calling them and just telling them the baby had come. and they were so happy. And yeah, so I recovered. I was admitted for about 2 days, just making sure that my vitals were okay, my blood pressure, temperature, and all, and also just monitoring the baby. Doctors were coming. I was um, I was amazed to see that it was specific. The doctors that were looking at me were just taking care of me, and they were pediatricians specifically for our daughter as well. I know that also happens back home, but that's like one observation that I made here, that they are very specific in their care, and it's something that even eases you, so that you know that everything is being taken care of. So we were admitted, and after that we were given a go ahead to go back home. The whole time my husband was with me. That's one point that I will never, I will never forget. That was such a joy and a blessing. And he, because I had to have the baby before the actual due date, he had to go to work one day and then come back. God is good. My mother-in-law was there, and she was there to take care of us during that time. So I'm so grateful for this system that allows for a spouse to be with you during that time. That's like a time when you're vulnerable, when you really need your spouse there just for the comfort, for the love, and to know that he's there with you, and to know that they allow that. That was really good, and we really enjoyed that time together, and to just go through that phase of life together. And I was so grateful to God. So this is my cesarean section journey. I could not really go in detail with the medical aspect of it, because I'm not really authorized to do that, but I just wanted to give you an experience of how it was, just and a bit of differences between how it was done here and how I've seen it done back home in Zambia. Yes, so if you've had a cesarean section, tell me how it went, and how your experience was. Let me know in the comment section. And if you are seeking, or you want to have a cesarean section, I hope this gives you a bit of a glimpse on what to expect, and especially if you're in the United States, what to expect and how things are going to go. Yeah, the whole process goes by so fast. So I hope you have someone to take videos and pictures, so that you can know how everything went at the end of the day. That's my baby waking up. So, so that's my baby waking up. Thank you so much for watching my video this far. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, um, comment on this video, and share it with whoever you feel may benefit from it. Thank you so much for your time and for watching. I'll see you in my next video, and God bless you.